Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Another fantastic, amazing, wild video on promotion. Yes, today we're going to take a look at public relations. Really, how do you improve the public's perception of your company? So make sure you get out your notes, you follow along, you follow the STORM philosophy for note taking, and sit back and enjoy. Okay, so first we're going to take a look at the promotional process again and really try and connect public relations back to this. We're then going to take a look at what we mean by publicity and public relations. And then we will look at the various tools PR firms and publicists have at their disposal to improve the public's reception of their company. So first off, the promotional process. Remember, intent is the beginning of the process, and this is all about promotional goals. Then we have message and the appeals. Then we have media, and choosing the media all comes down to factors. Then we have reception, and this is where we're talking about public relations. This is because the reception of the public to your company may need an improvement, and therefore public relations specialize in this. And then we'll get to action. Publicity is all about the coverage that the company receives either from media or from the public in general. It can be both positive and negative. It can be managed in some cases. I mean, you hire PR firms in some cases to manage the public's perception of your company if at one point or another you've done something maybe wrong. It can, however, be uncontrollable, and that's where the media simply writes a story about your company and its dealings or its products and what it's done well or what it's done bad. I mean, if it's uncontrollable, you hope that it's good. You hope that the media has covered your business because you're doing so much charitable work. If it's bad, that can really harm your company. It can cause irreversible damage for your business. It's very, very difficult for companies to recover from bad publicity. Sometimes they say any publicity is good publicity, whether it's bad or good. However, in some cases, bad publicity is just bad publicity. And so what companies often do is they hire public relations firms. These PR firms are specialists in the field of reception, in the field of managing public opinion on your company or your product. And therefore they manage the publicity. And they have various tools at their disposal. So PR firms or public relations firms, publicists, they deal with a number of different factors regarding publicity. They have to convey the message with the media and therefore relate to the media and handle the media. They have to lobby the government. They have to distribute brochures and annual reports, and oftentimes they have to deal with crisis. They have to manage a crisis so it doesn't get out of control. So PR firms or publicists has a huge network of very influential people. I mean, think of the publicists that work for celebrities. Do you think they know everyone in the business, every media or entertainment reporter? Of course they do. They have to, because they have to convey to these media personnel a positive image of the celebrity, of the entertainer, and what they're doing so wonderfully in the community, how they're giving back their time, right? PR firms deal with this with companies as well. They really want to convey to the media that, you know what, this company is doing a lot of good. Here's what they're doing. And so what often they do is they prepare press releases. These are already written stories that the media person or the media company can publish. And these will outline all the amazing positive things their clients are doing. Right? So they submit these to every media person they can think of that will print this. And these stories you'll read in the paper every day. When you read about a celebrity doing something good, it's probably because their publicist presented that story to the newspaper or magazine or Entertainment Tonight or whatever other entertainment show is out there. And these publicists will include a press kit, and this press kit includes pictures and biographies and television commercial clips or anything else they can use as far as facts and figures that will present the company or the celebrity in a very good light, right? So oftentimes what they'll do is also hold a press conference, announcing major changes to a company's product lineup, let's say. Think Apple and Steve Jobs. They held huge press conferences or product launches or product launch events where they would invite all sorts of press to come and take a look at the new products that are out there. Or they'll do a press junket where they'll fly the media people in to cover the story. And this is an all-expense paid trip. Media people love this. So they'll create stories, they'll arrange special events, they'll do book signings or product launch parties, and they'll do photo opportunities. Really anything that gets the company or, again, the celebrity in very positive light. So the next tool at the PR person's disposal is political lobbying. Now this is something that we consider very American, but it does happen in Canada here too. And many political decisions can negatively and or positively impact a business. And so companies hire these PR firms to lobby the government, to hold votes that will, help the company out. And so the PR firm has a database of interested stakeholders, from government officials to other people of influence who could lobby these government officials, to community organizers who again can influence these people. And so what they do is they put it into their ear, maybe you should vote this way on this issue or this way on this issue because this company will benefit, and if this company benefits, then they'll make more money. If they make more money, then they'll hire more people, and if they hire more people, then those people will get more money and they'll pay, and the economy goes round and round and everything's good. And otherwise, if they vote in a negative way, that's going to hurt the company, and this is what's going to happen. So the PR firm really tries to convince public officials to vote in certain ways. They try to encourage the public support for issues. And so if development or zoning laws are taking place and voting on these laws are taking place, they try and encourage the public to contact their political officials so they can vote in a certain way that favors the public opinion, which was put into their ear through lobbyists, right? So they also mount major issue campaigns. If they feel that there's a certain vote that's happening that's going to really hurt their business, then PR firms will launch a major issue campaign. And we saw this before with CRTC rulings and how this is going to affect Rogers and Bell with opening up the media airwaves. They sometimes will try and lobby officials to secure drug approval so that certain drugs in development can happen in Canada, and pharmaceutical companies can therefore make a lot more money on this. And they also can coordinate advocacy campaigns, really trying to sway public opinion and sway politicians into positive directions. Another tool is a brochure. Now this is not necessarily your direct-to-home advertisement, but it is sent to potential consumers. And really this brochure will inform the consumer of all the various aspects of the product or the company or the service. It will advertise the new entertainment venue. It will inform them about the new service in the community. And these brochures are a little bit more than advertisements. They inform, so they have much more information, and they look a lot more professional, not just your advertisement with a large headline. There's a lot of instructions and information and contact and all of this. They should therefore be very professionally designed. The language needs to be absolutely correct. They have to have proper grammar. They use glossier paper, right? They make it look very professional. And they will still address promotional appeals and objectives. There is that element to it. Now, annual reports are kind of like brochures, only they are sent to potential investors. And they highlight the company in terms of its financial position. And so these annual reports, when they're sent to corporate investors or potential investors, those investors can peruse through the report and look at what the company's done over the last year and look at their financial profits and their revenue and all their different business functions and their projected plans and profit and growth and all of those things. And so what this does is help convince investors to invest in their company, and therefore if they invest in the company, then the company does better, right? So it's all a positive thing. But again, these have to be extremely professional. If you think a brochure needs to be professional, well, the annual report has to be even more professional. And often they are more professional not just because they're submitted to investors, but these are sent to the Securities Commission, who needs to look over these. So glossy paper, full color, language, graphs, analysis, all of this is included in annual reports. So crisis management is the last tool for a company through public relations. And this is something that you don't necessarily want to use. This is all about damage control. This is when companies go bad, right? So when things go wrong. So public relations firms are experts, however, in this. And so companies never try and handle this on their own. They always hire public relations firms. And some PR firms actually specialize in damage control. They're experts at this. And some of the biggest companies who have gone through crisis management will use these same companies because of what they've done before. So they will help to correct the initial problem. They will publicize this correction, right? If you correct it, that's all well and good, but you need to make sure that public opinion sways to the positive, and therefore you need to publicize that you've done what you're supposed to do. They will spin the company's problem into an attribute. Look, maybe we didn't do so well here that we produced a product that ended up killing a lot of people, but hey, at least we corrected it now. So they'll replace faulty products. They'll have press conferences and they'll proclaim that they are so much better now, right? So all of these are done because they need to reduce the impact on sales. No matter what happens, if it's a terrible crisis, it's going to hurt your sales. But how much? Well, that all depends on the public relations firm and its crisis management. Okay, so what's the difference between advertising and publicity? Do they achieve the same thing? Do they have the same objectives? Can they use the same appeals? Is there any difference? And how would you counter negative publicity? Right? Things are going to go wrong when you run a company, when you're the marketing team of a company. So how do you counter that? How do you exploit the positive? It's not easy. What steps do you need to take? So make sure you get your notes in order. You've added your own discussion questions, and you're prepared to discuss those tomorrow. So that's it. That's all. That's everything. We'll see you then.